par, or it's on par with them as quotable, I think. Especially Devil's Rejects, which I'm sure we'll get to later on. If it's not on your list, I will disown you.
Yeah. Well, coming in at number 118 from 1979, When a Stranger Calls. You want to talk about a movie that's relatable? When a Stranger Calls, I think before it became taboo and nobody does it anymore, there was a time in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and in the 90s where you had these fucking things called babysitters. And what had happened was it was usually a young teenage girl in your neighborhood looking to make a couple of bucks that could be trusted, 15, 16, 17 years old. And they would come and they would watch your kids where you and your husband, you and your wife could go out to dinner or go to a movie, have a date night or whatever, and not worry about your fucking kids being home alone, tearing up the goddamn house or whatever. That was a legitimate thing. You can't do that anymore because people are such goddamn trash, you can't trust anybody.
Right.
And, even if you do it today, you'd have a goddamn babysitter. If something did happen, they'll say, well, I was on my mental health break when he jumped out the window. Sorry. Fucking pussies. Anyway.
I love the atmosphere of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is very anxious feeling. Like when I first watched this, it made me feel very anxious. Like my anxiety was high, and that normally doesn't happen with a horror movie.
It's one of the best suspenseful horror films, anticipating, is the killer outside? Is the killer inside? Is the killer in the closet? And then, have you checked the children?
Yeah.
That shit's just creepy, man. It's legitimate creepy because that's something legitimately that can happen.
Yeah, still to this day. And I think that's why it really stands, I don't want to use that term, but I am, the test of time because of how relatable and how creepy it is. Because, you could still do that. You could still make that movie today, and it would still be creepy.
They did do a remake to it. I can't remember when it came. 05, 06, maybe 07. It wasn't bad, but it didn't hit on the level of this one.
No,
it didn't just hit on the level.
It didn't capture the same feeling.
No, it was good. It was good. If you have a chance to watch that remake, I actually would tell you to go watch it because it entertained me, but you won't get the feeling that you get from that genuine creeped out emotion. So
yeah.
Coming in at number 117 is from 1974. This movie is very underrated because nobody talks about it, because I don't think some people even know about it, and that is Deranged.
Ooh.
For those of you that don't know, Deranged is based off of the real life killer Ed Gein. Ed Gein was a guy who lived in Wisconsin who was kind of off his rocker. He wasn't all there. He was a few French fries short of a fucking Happy Meal, if you know what I'm saying.
I imagine he talked like Sling Blade.
Well, I don't even know how he talked, but
I don't know neither, but I imagine.
Well, you piece of shit. Not all fucking handicapped people are fucking killers.
This one is.
What you doing, little boy? I'm gonna kill you. Carl only wanted to fucking play football. He wanted to play football, eat fucking goddamn French fried taters and mustard biscuits.
He didn't mean to hurt nobody.
No, he didn't mean to. But anyway, Ed Gein did.
Yeah.
Ed Gein, like I said, he was a few French fries short, and basically his mother was like this overbearing religious freak that taught Ed Gein that all women are evil. All women are evil and all this. Anyway, when she died, basically his handler died, and he he didn't have anybody to snap him out of fucking reality.
He lost all sense of reality when his mother passed away because that's all he had.
Yeah. Well, he started out as like a grave robber. He would dig up graves. That was a legitimate thing that people participate in, which is why humans are not good people.
No.
Anyway, that eventually turned to murder, and they found like corpses in his house, and there were furniture made out of human skin, blood, all things.
Nipple belt, that's my favorite.
Yeah, the nipple belt, the whole 9 yards.
A lamp
and
made of human skin.
Anyway, around this same time in 1974, a little movie called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was coming out, which was loosely based on Ed Gein's actions. But then you have this movie, Deranged, where Robert Blossoms played Ed Gein. Of course, they could not call him Ed Gein. They couldn't call anybody the real names in this because they didn't have the rights to. And but he's basically Ed Gein in the film.
Yeah.
And this was, if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if Leatherface is the one that's kind of loosely based off Ed Gein or drew inspiration, Robert Blossom's character was, I mean, this is like it. It's directly to it. And you know what? Since then, there's been other films. I think Kane Hodder even played in one called Ed Gein. There's been several Ed Gein movies that have been able to use the name and use all that, and none of them have even been good as this movie.
No,
like,
I 100% agree.
Like
with you.
this movie is exaggerated just a tad, and you can't use the names, but it's still better than, you know, what has been out in the last couple of years, you know.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen that movie, do
that
yourself
one gets
a favor.
it right the most.
Yeah, that one's awesome. Anyway, number 116 from 1978, Jaws 2. This movie gets shit on and shit on and shit on.
Wow, I can't believe it's that high on your list.
Yeah, Jaws 2 is awesome. There's nothing wrong with Jaws 2.
I don't hate Jaws 2. I'm just surprised that you have it over a couple of other movies.
There is nothing wrong with Jaws 2, and to me, it's a continuation of Chief Brody's story. No, you don't have Quinn. Quinn died in the first one. No, you don't have Hooper. Hooper went on to do his marine biology bullshit, whatever. You have Chief Brody, his grown-up son now, his little brother, and his wife. And in his words, you know, I know what a shark looks like because I've seen one up close. And you better do something about this one because I don't intend to go through that fucking hell again. That pretty much sums up the movie. And that's why I like it.
I don't think it's a bad movie by no means. It's definitely
that, and the fact that I'm a big fan of Roy Schneider. So
you are. It's just one of those things that falls victim because the first one was so amazing.
Yeah.
Type situation. I don't think 2 is bad.
I can see if Jaws 2 completely sucked, but it didn't. I mean, I think that I don't think Jaws came out in 1975. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
1975. There has never, ever, Smokey! Ever. There has never, ever, not only has there never, ever been a better shark movie, there hasn't been a better animal movie than Jaws. None. Think of one. No. You're wrong.
I said none.
Exactly. I mean, seriously, there hasn't been. And so Jaws 2, like you said, it was hit with that curse. But why can't we, if it's entertaining, I mean, I understand it has standards to live up to, which it can never do. It can never do. Look, man, if you have a kid, and your kid, if you have two kids, let's say there's 10 years apart, right? Mm-hmm. And your kid, your firstborn, plays basketball and goes fucking to college, and he's all state. And now he's going to get drafted by the NBA and all that shit. And then you have your second child who just fucking plays video games.
Yeah, that's a hell of a comparison.
Well, I mean, are you going to love the less? You going to love the little one any less? No.
Yes.
Well, some people do.
Listen here, you little shit.
I'm just saying. I'm
fucking with you.
There's some impossible standards to live up to, and I love Jaws 3 as well.
You like all the Jaws movies.
Dude, Jaws 3 gets shit on, and I like it. Jaws the Revenge gets shit on. Jaws the Revenge, not only is Jaws the Revenge on most people's worst horror movies ever, but it's on like worst movies period ever. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, don't you think it's stupid that a shark would follow a person all the way from, Amity Island to the Bahamas? And I'm thinking to myself, no, it really didn't do that. Like, that's what she's thinking in Jaws the Revenge. They're following me. Oh, it killed my son. It killed my father. It killed my husband. It has it out for our family. Like, that's how her mind has slipped into these fucking sharks. And that's but people took it literally when they did that. Like, that shark wasn't the same shark that like killed everybody else in fucking Amity Island. That shark was just a shark that happened to end up in the Bahamas. That's what it is. In her mind, she thought it was the same shark. In her mind, oh my God, the motherfucker followed me all the way to the Bahamas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people are like, oh, that movie is just so stupid. A shark couldn't follow you. Like, use some goddamn common sense. And kudos to the filmmakers, because the filmmakers never corrected anybody. They let people think that.
Really?
Yeah. No filmmaker that made that movie has come out and say, well, actually, it's not really like that. The movie, they don't do that. You know why? Because they don't care. They made the movie. They made money off of the movie. It went to theaters.
But my thing, I guess, the genius part about it is that Jaws 4 gets talked about more than 2 and 3.
Yeah, like 2 and 3
gets looked over because of 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there's more people that talk about 4 that hate it than talk about 2 and 3 that love it.
Right.
So
anyway, not to get off too much subject.
Coming in at number 115 is from 1980. There's a lot of fucking movies from 1980 on my list. Didn't really realize that, but, Motel Hell.
Ooh. I got Motel Hell in a 2-pack on DVD.
I do too. That's the movie we just talked about, Deranged.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to find that. You're not going to find Deranged by itself. You're going to find Deranged and Motel. You'll find Motel Hell by itself, but you won't find Deranged. Get that 2-pack with Deranged and Motel Hell.
If you can find it.
If you can find it. It's kind of, I don't know, it might be out of print.
Maybe. I mean, you
go
realize
to
that
your
was a long time ago.
to FYE, and even though you're going to pay out the ass, because FYE are ran by a bunch of fucking crooks.
Yeah. Great double feature, though. Great 2-pack.
Yeah. Motel Hell, Pharma Vincent and his sister, secret that they use, people.
Great fertilizer.
Yep. And, it's one of these things where it's like, goddamn, the crazy farmers, the crazy hillbilly farmers, catching hitchhikers and bikers and people that society won't miss and using them to fertilize their crops. And Farmer Vincent's ferters are quite popular.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. I hit my teeth. God damn it. Ow. Sorry, I spaced out for a moment.